The galaxy watched in silence. For thousands of years, wars had been loud. They came with warnings, threats, and speeches. But this time, there were none. The Galactic Empire decided the human problem would end in one clean act. No meetings, no final chance, no mercy. At the same moment, across human space, the attack began. Energy beams tore through the skies of Earth. Orbital defenses never had time to respond. Satellites shattered and burned as they fell like metal rain. Cities disappeared in white fire. In seconds, towers became shadows. In minutes, continents glowed red. In hours, oceans boiled and clouds turned to steam. Human colonies across dozens of systems suffered the same fate. One strike, perfect timing, total destruction. 7 billion humans died in a single day. Children, workers, scientists, soldiers, all gone. The Galactic Empire released an official statement soon after. It called the attack necessary. Humans were described as emotional violent, too unstable for galactic peace. The report said humans adapted too fast. They learned from every defeat. They remembered every insult. One day, the Empire claimed humans would become dangerous, so they were removed early. Across the galaxy, most leaders agreed. Some felt relief. Others felt nothing at all. Humans were young. Humans were divided. Humans had never truly ruled anything. To many, this was not a tragedy. It was prevention. Something strange happened next. After the attack, the galaxy waited for noise. There were no human distress calls, no emergency broadcasts, no final messages filled with anger or fear. There was no retaliation. Not a single human ship appeared. Not one weapon fired back. Human space went completely silent. At first, alien commanders praised the operation. They called it flawless. They called it efficient. Celebrations were held on Imperial worlds. Statues were planned. Medals were awarded. Historians gathered records and closed the human chapter. Humanity, they wrote, was a brief experiment. But as days passed, the silence began to feel wrong. Listening stations aimed toward destroyed human systems detected nothing. No wreck signals, no escape pods, no life signs. It was as if humanity had never existed at all. Scavenger fleets sent to loot human ruins never returned. Their last transmissions were confused. Sensors showed empty space, yet something blocked their scans. Imperial officers dismissed the reports. They blamed radiation, old debris, faulty instruments. Still, unease spread. Deep beyond known trade routes, far from galactic maps, something stirred. Hidden in regions the Empire considered dead space, ancient human facilities activated. These places were not cities, they were not colonies. They were archives. Records lit up. Counters began to move. Human survivors, few, scattered, and unseen, watched data scroll past. They did not cry. They did not shout. They counted. They counted the dead. They counted the lost worlds. They counted every name they could recover. 7 billion. The number repeated again and again. Humanity was not dead. It was broken, scarred, burned, but not erased. No message was sent to the galaxy. No threat was made. Instead, old shipyards hidden inside hollowed asteroids came alive. Factories buried inside dead moons powered on for the first time in centuries. Human engineers worked in silence. There were no flags, no speeches, no songs. Ships were built ugly and heavy. Armor was thick. Weapons were simple but brutal. These ships were not made to scare. They were made to end things. The galaxy noticed strange signs. Energy spikes where nothing should exist. Supply routes disrupted without explanation. Stars flickering in ways no science could explain. When Imperial analysts searched their databases, they found an old, ignored note, written long ago by a forgotten alien observer. It said, "Humans do not react quickly. Humans retreat before they strike. When humans go silent, they are planning." The report had been dismissed as superstition. Now it was quietly removed from public records. Still, no human voice answered the galaxy. No demand for justice. No cry for revenge. Just silence. And counting. Far from the burning ruins of Earth, a human commander stood before a dark screen filled with names. 7 billion lines. He closed his eyes. Not in grief, in focus. The galaxy believed humanity was erased. In truth, humanity had just gone quiet. The galaxy moved on. That was what it told itself. Trade routes reopened. Wars resumed. Between old rivals, new alliances formed. The destruction of humanity slowly became just another entry in history archives. But the silence did not fade. Human space remained empty. Scanners showed no life, yet sensors could not fully read the ruins. Signals bent strangely near destroyed human systems. Ships passing too close reported navigation errors and time delays. Imperial commanders called it debris interference. They were wrong. Years passed. Then the first unexplained event occurred. An Imperial supply convoy vanished while traveling through a safe corridor. No explosion, no distress call, no wreckage. It simply stopped existing. Investigators blamed pirates, but pirates claimed no reward. No black market parts appeared. The convoy was never found. Soon, another incident followed. A listening station near the edge of former human territory detected a signal. It was not a language, not code, not music. It was a pulse, slow, regular, intentional. The station tried to respond. The signal stopped. Moments later, the station went dark. Imperial officials ordered a review of old human records. Most were gone destroyed during the genocide, but fragments remained. One analyst, young and careful, noticed a pattern. Human history showed something unusual. When humans lost wars, they did not rush back into battle. They withdrew. They adapted. They changed tactics. Every time, humans learned faster after defeat than after victory. This worried the analyst. He presented his findings to his superior. The superior laughed. "Humans are gone," he said. "Learning requires survival." The report was filed and forgotten, but the analyst kept searching. He discovered a classified simulation program once run by the Empire. It modeled future threats. In nearly every scenario where humans were pushed to extinction-level loss, the results ended the same way. Humanity returned, not larger, not louder, just smarter and unstoppable. Before the analyst could submit his findings again, his access was revoked. Soon after, he disappeared during a routine transfer. Across the galaxy, small things began to fail. Defense grids shut down for seconds at a time. Communication relays lost packets of data. Navigation buoys sent ships slightly off course. Nothing dramatic, nothing provable, but always near former human space. Imperial fleets were dispatched to investigate. They found nothing. No ships, no bases, no signs of life. Only empty space that felt wrong. Veteran pilots reported the same feeling, as if they were being watched, as if something was measuring them. Deep beyond galactic borders, inside regions marked as unstable and worthless, human activity increased. Hidden facilities expanded. Fleets assembled slowly. Humans did not rush. They remembered the cost of rushing. Human commanders studied the Empire carefully. They watched how it moved fleets, how it protected symbols instead of people, how it relied on fear and reputation. They learned, and they waited. The galaxy began to sense it, not through data, through instinct. Older species, ones that had survived near extinction themselves, grew uneasy. They remembered something. Long ago, they had watched another young species pushed too far. That species had vanished quietly, then returned decades later and burned an empire to ash. That species had not forgiven, neither would humans. A secret imperial meeting was held. Admirals spoke in low voices. One question filled the room. What if humans are not dead? The idea was officially rejected. Publicly, privately, defenses were strengthened. Fleets were repositioned. Borders tightened. Still no human attack came. That frightened them more. Because humans had already lost everything. They had no cities left to defend, no civilians to protect, no future to fear losing. Only memory remained, and memory is dangerous. In a hidden human command chamber, far from any star, a map of the galaxy glowed. Human officers stood in silence. No cheering, no hatred spoken aloud, just cold focus. A counter on the wall displayed a number. 7,000 below it, another line slowly updated. Targets identified. Humanity was not angry. Anger fades. Humanity was not desperate. Desperation makes mistakes. Humanity was patient, because extinction teaches patience. The galaxy still believed it had won. It believed the silence meant success. It did not understand the truth. Silence was not surrender. Silence was calculation. And soon, the galaxy would hear humanity again. The first human strike did not come with a warning. There was no message sent to the Galactic Empire, no declaration of war, no angry speech filled with threats. The galaxy learned what had happened only after it was already over. The target was not a military world. It was not a shipyard. It was not a fleet. It was an archive planet. The planet was called Valor Prime, a world owned by the Galactic Empire. It held records older than many species. Every conquest, every victory, every erased civilization. Valor Prime was a symbol. Imperial leaders believed symbols made them eternal. Humanity believed symbols could be broken. Without being detected, a human fleet entered the system. Imperial sensors saw nothing. No hyperspace flare. No energy spike. No warning signs. Then Valor Prime stopped responding. Communication with the planet ended in a single second. Defense platforms tried to activate. They failed. A moment later, the planet vanished. Not shattered. Not burned. It simply folded inward, collapsing into a silent point of light, and then nothing. No debris remained. No survivors. Across the system, Imperial ships froze in place. Their crews stared at empty space where a planet had existed for millions of years. Then a transmission appeared on all frequencies. It was short. It was human. For the 7 billion, the message repeated once. Then it stopped. The galaxy exploded into panic. Imperial Command denied the event at first. They called it a natural anomaly, a rare stellar collapse. But the archives were gone. Every backup was erased at the same time. Historians screamed. Admirals argued. Leaders demanded answers. None came. Then the second strike happened. A heavily guarded Imperial shipyard disappeared during peak activity. Thousands of warships were lost without a single shot being fired. Again, no human ships were detected. Again, only silence remained. Captured sensor data showed something terrifying. Human weapons did not explode. They removed. They erased matter cleanly, leaving no wreckage to study. No weakness to exploit. Imperial fleets were mobilized at full strength. They spread out, searching for the enemy. Human ships appeared for the first time. They were nothing like the galaxy expected. No shining hulls, no banners, no elegant design. They were dark, thick, scarred, built for survival, not beauty. The first battle was brief. An Imperial patrol encountered 3 human vessels. The Empire outnumbered them 5-1. Imperial commanders expected an easy win. They were wrong. The human ships did not charge. They retreated. The Imperial fleet followed. That was the mistake. Hidden human minds activated, cutting off escape routes. Human ships turned back and attacked from multiple angles. They did not focus on firepower. They targeted engines, sensors, command ships. Imperial vessels drifted helplessly. Then the humans vanished again. No prisoners were taken. No messages left. Only broken ships floating in silence. Survivors were rescued days later. They all reported the same thing. Humans did not shout. They did not taunt. They did not celebrate. They fought like machines with memory. Imperial propaganda tried to control the fear. It called human attacks random, desperate, small. But the pattern was clear. Humans did not attack strength. They attacked meaning, archives, monuments, centers of control. They erased the idea that the Empire was permanent. Across the galaxy, minor species began to panic. Some had supported the genocide. Some had voted in favor of it. Now they watched human fleets pass their systems without attacking. That frightened them even more, because it meant humans were choosing who mattered, choosing who would pay. Inside a hidden human command ship, officers reviewed data. They spoke little. No one asked if this was right. That question had died with the 7 billion. One officer finally spoke. The galaxy is responding faster than predicted. The commander nodded. They fear us now, he said. Another officer asked quietly, "Is this revenge?" The commander shook his head. "No," he said. "Revenge is emotional." "What is this then?" The commander looked at the map of erased systems. "This is balance." Human attacks continued, always precise, always controlled, never rushed, never cruel. Yet the fear spread faster than any weapon. Imperial allies began to withdraw support. Trade collapsed, borders fractured. The Empire demanded peace talks. Humanity did not answer. Because this was not a war to be won. This was a lesson to be remembered. The galaxy had taken 7 billion lives. Humanity was taking certainty, stability, the belief that power protected you. And the galaxy was only beginning to understand. This was not humanity's rage. This was humanity's decision. And decisions do not stop halfway. The galaxy had never begged before. It had threatened. It had conquered. It had erased. But it had never begged. Now, It learned how. Human attacks did not increase in speed, they increased in meaning. Every strike hit something important. A trade hub that fed 5 empires vanished overnight. A council world went dark during a live broadcast. A shipyard that built ceremonial fleets collapsed into nothing. Human fleets never stayed long. They appeared. They erased. They left. No wreckage remained to study. No patterns to predict. Imperial defenses grew thicker. They did not matter. Human weapons did not care about shields. They did not push through armor. They removed space itself. The Galactic Empire called an emergency council. Hundreds of species joined the meeting. Some appeared as holograms. Others spoke through translators, shaking with fear. This was not a meeting of power. This was a meeting of survival. One by one, leaders spoke. They demanded action. They demanded total war. But no one wanted to say the truth out loud. They were losing. Not because human fleets were larger, but because human strategy was absolute. Humans were not fighting armies. They were dismantling the idea of empire. Every time the empire gathered forces, humans struck somewhere else. Every time the empire defended a world, humans erased a symbol. Soon, even loyal imperial allies began to leave. They shut their borders. They withdrew fleets. They claimed neutrality. They remembered how humans passed their systems without attacking. Selective mercy terrified them. Because it meant judgment existed. A decision was made behind closed doors. The empire would speak to humanity, not through generals, not through threats, through apology. A message was prepared. It was long, it admitted mistakes, it expressed regret, it offered reparations, shared technology, shared rule, shared future. The message was sent across all frequencies. For a long time, nothing happened. Then a response arrived. Not from a council, not from a fleet, from a single human ship. The voice was calm, measured, emotionless. "You killed our future," the human commander said. The chamber went silent. "You killed our children, our cities, our memory, our cities, our memory." No anger colored his voice. That frightened them. "We will not rule you," he continued. "We will not replace you." A leader interrupted, desperate. "Then what do you want?" The human commander paused. "We want balance." The transmission ended. Human attacks changed again. They no longer erased only imperial worlds. They targeted records. Gene archives vanished. Cultural histories disappeared. Entire species lost knowledge of their own past. The galaxy screamed. Civilizations that had existed for millions of years woke up one day without history, without proof they had ever mattered. They finally understood. This was not revenge for death. This was revenge for erasure. The Empire had tried to wipe humanity from memory. Humanity was returning the lesson. The phrase spread across the galaxy. Humans remember. Fear reached worlds untouched by the war. Independent systems dismantled old weapons. Minor species destroyed data that mentioned the genocide. They hoped invisibility might save them. It did not. Human fleets appeared near one such world. The leaders prepared to surrender. But humans did not attack. They left behind a message. Silence will not save you. Truth might. The galaxy changed overnight. Records were opened. Old crimes were admitted. The genocide of humanity was no longer hidden. The Empire's image collapsed. Rebellions erupted. Systems declared independence. Imperial fleets were stretched thin, trying to hold together something already dead. Humanity did not need to strike often now. The Empire was destroying itself. Inside a human command center, officers watched the collapse. One asked quietly, "Are they suffering enough?" The commander did not answer. He looked at the counter. 7 billion. The number never changed. "Enough is not the goal," he said finally. "Understanding is." Outside, stars burned as usual, but the galaxy felt different. Older, smaller. For the first time, power meant nothing without memory. The Galactic Empire prepared one final move. It gathered every remaining fleet, every superweapon, every defense platform. They would protect the capital world. They would end this in one last stand. Human sensors detected the buildup. No surprise, no fear. Human commanders issued one final order. All fleets converge. This time, humanity would not vanish afterward. This time, humanity would not vanish afterward. This time, the galaxy would watch, because some lessons must be seen. And the galaxy was about to learn its final one. The Galactic Empire gathered everything it had left. Not some of it. Not most of it. Everything. Thousands of warships formed a wall around the imperial capital world. Defense platforms filled space like iron stars. Ancient superweapons, never used before, powered on for the first time. This was not a strategy. This was desperation. The Empire believed one thing still mattered. If the capital survived, the Empire survived. Across the galaxy, every species watched. Some hoped the Empire would win. Others prayed it would fall. No one doubted what was coming. Human fleets began to arrive. They did not rush in. They appeared slowly, system by system, like shadows stepping into light. Their ships were different now, larger, heavier, marked with scars from earlier battles. No symbols, no flags, only numbers etched into their hulls. 7 billion names reduced to steel and memory. Imperial sensors screamed. Human ships did not hide. They did not cloak. They wanted to be seen. The first shots came from the Empire. Thousands of energy beams lit space like a burning sky. Human ships absorbed the fire. Some were destroyed. The humans did not retreat. They kept moving forward. Imperial commanders shouted orders. Human ships ignored them. The battle spread across the system. Fleets collided. Platforms exploded. Stars flickered under the strain of unleashed weapons. Human tactics were cold and exact. They did not chase fleeing ships. They did not protect damaged allies. They pushed straight toward the capital world. Imperial superweapons fired. Entire sections of space collapsed. Human fleets lost ships. Still, they advanced. Observers across the galaxy were confused. Humans were not winning by numbers. They were winning by purpose. Every destroyed human ship cleared a path. Every sacrifice shortened the distance. Imperial leaders realized the truth too late. Humans were not trying to survive the battle. They were trying to finish it. As the fleets clashed, a single human vessel broke formation. It was massive, older than the others, built from layered armor thicker than most stations. Imperial weapons focused on it instantly. The ship did not dodge. It took the fire. Its hull burned. Its shields failed. Still, it moved. Imperial commanders screamed to destroy it. They failed. The human ship reached firing range. No explosion followed. No beam of light. The weapon it used made no sound. Space around the Imperial capital world folded inward, not violently, quietly. The planet did not break. It did not groan. It simply stopped existing. One moment it was there. The next, it was gone. Along with every leader, every archive, every symbol of Imperial rule. Silence followed. Imperial fleets froze. Some tried to flee. Human ships did not chase them. They did not need to. The Empire had ended. Across the galaxy, systems went dark as command signals vanished. Fleets without orders surrendered or drifted aimlessly. Allies officially declared independence within hours. The war ended without a victory parade. Human fleets withdrew slowly. They did not celebrate. They did not cheer. Inside the massive human flagship, the commander watched the empty space where the capital world had been. An officer spoke quietly. "It's over." The commander nodded. "For them," he said. Another officer hesitated. "And for us?" The commander looked at the counter. 7 billion. "It will never be over," he said. "But it is finished." The galaxy waited for humanity's next move. Would they rule? Would they conquer? Would they replace the Empire? They did none of it. Human fleets spread out, not to claim territory, but to dismantle weapons. They destroyed superweapons. They erased genocide records only after making them public. They did not punish minor species. They ignored those who had watched silently. Only one message was broadcast across the galaxy. It played on repeat. "We do not seek rule. We do not seek worship. We remember. New civilizations would rise." They always did. But every new leader would learn the same story. 7 billion humans died. The galaxy survived. Barely. And in the silence after the war, one truth became permanent. Humanity did not need to dominate the stars. It only needed to be remembered. Because the galaxy had learned the cost of forgetting. The war ended without celebration. No victory songs echoed through space. No monuments were built in human space. Humanity did not cheer, because celebration is for those who gained something. Humans had not gained. They had only answered. Years passed. The galaxy slowly rebuilt itself. New alliances formed, but none called themselves empires. The word had become dangerous. Borders were smaller. Fleets were weaker. Councils spoke carefully now. Every species remembered what happened when power forgot responsibility. Human fleets were seen less and less. They did not patrol. They did not demand tribute. They simply watched. from hidden systems, from silent stations. Human space remained mostly empty. Earth was never rebuilt. The ruins were left untouched, a warning written in stone and ash. Some alien species tried to contact humanity again. They sent messages of peace, offers of trade, invitations to councils. Most received no reply, but a few did. A single message, always the same. We remember. Historians across the galaxy rewrote everything. The genocide of humanity was no longer hidden. It was taught in schools, carved into data archives, spoken aloud during council meetings. 7 billion names were preserved, not as numbers, as proof. Older species taught their young one rule above all others: never corner a species with nothing left, because nothing is more dangerous than survival without hope. Humanity slowly returned, not as conquerors, but as observers. Human ships appeared near developing worlds. They watched new civilizations rise. They watched mistakes form. They did not interfere. Unless extinction loomed, then, quietly, humanity acted. A fleet would appear. A weapon would be dismantled. A war would end before it began. No one thanked them. Humans did not ask for thanks. They asked for memory. Inside a quiet human station far from the galactic core, a young human officer stood before the counter. 7 billion. The number had never changed. He asked an older commander a question. Will it ever go away? The commander shook his head. No, he said. And it shouldn't. Doesn't it hurt? Doesn't it hurt? Yes. Then why keep it? The commander looked out at the stars. Because forgetting is how it starts again. The galaxy grew older, smarter, more afraid, but safer. Not because humanity ruled it, because humanity existed. 100 years after the empire fell, a new council formed, smaller, careful, humble. They did not invite humanity as leaders. They invited them as witnesses. A human representative arrived. No weapons, no guards. He stood alone. A council member spoke. What does humanity want from the galaxy now? The human thought for a long moment. Then he answered. Nothing, he said. The room grew tense. Then why stay? The human looked around, at hundreds of species, at a galaxy that once laughed at extinction. So you remember, he said. Silence followed. Because they did. Every single one of them did. The genocide. The silence. The return. The final lesson. The human representative turned to leave. Before he did, he spoke one final sentence. If you ever forget, he said calmly, we will remind you. He left. No threats. No anger. Just truth. And the galaxy believed him. Because it had already seen what happens when humanity goes quiet. Because it had survived humanity's answer. Barely. And from that day forward, across every star system, in every language, one rule was never broken again. Never erase humanity. Never corner humanity. Never forget the 7 billion. Because humanity does not need to rule the galaxy. It only needs to be remembered. And the galaxy will remember. Forever.